All right, buddy, it's all you.
All right, I'm Matthew Langton. This is my capstone project, spring quarter 2011. Okay, taking in 120 into this control box right here. And from there, I am stepping it up to 240 with a step-up transformer.
That was probably bad, but that's all right.
And then coming out with that 240 to a VFD, variable frequency drive, in order to run an AC motor right here in order to generate wind theory, which then spins this nose cone of a wind generator that has stationary magnets that rotate around a coil. Man, this is pretty warm. Then that creates three-phase AC power, which I then am running through a rectifier to create DC current, which then comes up into this control panel via these wires, and the control panel tells it to either send the power, the DC power, to a battery bank or a dump load. I also installed this fuse here to prevent anything, if anything touches or crosses, this sucker blows, the whole thing turns off. Okay, so my battery bank is just these two little 12 volt 35 amp hour batteries, which means that it will burn 1 amp per hour for 35 hours. Then this little unit right here is what I'm calling a battery drain. So when the batteries get full and it doesn't need power anymore, you can just turn this guy on via this switch, and it heats this guy up, which is really hot right now. Ooh, man, I'm not kidding. Okay, and right now we're running about 25 volts, 25.6 volts DC through that guy, and it's still running because I've got this button on. So if I turn the button off, it's getting 0. Now it's gonna start cooling down, but it's really hot right now. It's gonna take a minute. Okay, so that's the battery section. The dump section then chases down and banks through this terminal to these 3 parallel burners in order to dump my excessive load that the wind generator creates, but then cannot put in the battery, or if this guy isn't on, it can't dump through there, so it's going to dump through these guys. So let me give you a little demonstration on how it works. We're going to fire up our power, which is then going to give us power at our VFD. The cart is handy. Okay, and then we're going to fire up our VFD, which is our wind. Then start off slow. We'll just ramp this motor up. You don't have to ramp it up, but just for video purposes, I'm ramping it up. Okay, and this is going to run at about 55 hertz. It seems like 55 hertz. So at this point already, our battery bank has been filled and the dump load has been activated. Put this handy cover on. So this is our battery bank status. This is our solar, extra load, wind power, slow mode. We're not using solar in this, so it's never gonna light up. Right now, our wind power is definitely lighting up because we're creating energy, and then our dump load is red because the battery bank is full and we are actually dumping current. Come on. And that's dumping about 27.9 volts right now. Which we were kind of concerned about because when it gets up too high, it goes into dump mode. It goes into slow mode, which turns it out of the wind because it's creating too much energy at this point to dump it. So then that tells us that we need to shut it off and give it a break at this point. Now if you look, if you notice, we're still dumping a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that's just a residual. And then if we send these guys back over to here, and we switch that guy back on, we're transferring that same, almost that same energy that was over here into this guy, which is going to drain our batteries and hopefully take us out of slow mode. It's thinking about it. But according to the manual, it needs to be reset via a button underneath. But I've went ahead and eliminated that by turning off the main power source for the whole trainer. But yet we're still dumping via that guy. Thank you for your time.
I don't know. Stop.